The world's oceans have become battlegrounds for dominance, with superpowers clashing beneath the surface. The U.S. Navy, equipped with advanced aircraft carriers and cutting-edge technology, often finds itself at the center of these high-stakes encounters. But what happens when a U.S. carrier intercepts a Chinese spy submarine in contested waters? This story unravels the intrigue, modern technology, and potential conflict shaping naval warfare today. The South China Sea has long been a flashpoint for geopolitical tension. Rich in resources and vital trade routes, this area is contested by multiple nations. China's aggressive territorial claims, marked by artificial island construction and militarization, have drawn global attention. In response, the U.S. frequently conducts freedom of navigation operations, deploying warships and carriers to enforce international law. During one such mission, a dramatic encounter unfolded. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the U.S. Navy's latest and most advanced aircraft carrier, was on a routine patrol when it detected an anomaly beneath the waves, a Chinese spy submarine. At approximately 9 a.m., sonar operators identified faint yet distinct acoustic signals indicative of a stealthy submarine. Further analysis confirmed it as a Shang-class Type 093B nuclear-powered attack submarine, renowned for its stealth and advanced technology. The crew quickly heightened their alert status. Escorting destroyers deployed sonar buoys, and MH-60R Seahawk helicopters swept the area to pinpoint the submarine's location. A tense cat-and-mouse game ensued as the Chinese vessel attempted evasive maneuvers using underwater terrain and countermeasures. Experts suggest the submarine's primary mission involved intelligence gathering, monitoring the USS Gerald R. Ford's capabilities, such as its electromagnetic aircraft launch system EMALS and advanced radar, may have been its objective. This operation highlights China's strategic push to challenge U.S. naval dominance. As the U.S. forces closed in, the Chinese submarine took an unexpected step. It surfaced. This rare move likely aimed to de-escalate tensions, as remaining submerged could be interpreted as hostile. Two U.S. destroyers closely monitored the surfaced vessel. A tense exchange followed via radio. The U.S. asserted the submarine operated in international waters, while China accused the U.S. of violating its territorial integrity. Eventually, the Chinese submarine retreated toward its home waters, but the encounter left lingering questions. This incident underscores the evolving role of submarines in modern naval operations. Beyond warfare, submarines are now critical tools for intelligence and diplomacy. China's growing fleet, including advanced nuclear-powered models, poses a formidable challenge to U.S. supremacy. To maintain its edge, the U.S. continues investing in unmanned underwater vehicles, UUVs, and cutting-edge anti-submarine warfare, ASW, systems. These advancements enhance detection and response capabilities, ensuring readiness for future encounters. What lies ahead? What if a similar encounter escalates? Imagine a scenario where a submarine refuses to surface, forcing the U.S. Navy to act defensively. Such high-stakes situations demand rapid decision-making and highlight the importance of technological and diplomatic readiness. A serious threat looms as a submarine could potentially launch torpedoes or missiles at any moment, leaving the U.S. Navy with limited choices. The Navy must monitor the submarine's movements, deploy non-lethal countermeasures, or escalate to forceful action. Let's explore what might happen if escalation becomes unavoidable. Initially, the U.S. Navy deploys non-lethal measures. These could include sonar pulses designed to disrupt the submarine systems or depth charges intended to compel it to surface rather than destroy it. However, such actions carry significant risks. If the submarine perceives these measures as an attack, it could retaliate, potentially targeting the carrier strike group. The clash might remain localized, with both nations seeking to avoid full-scale war, but the diplomatic fallout would be severe. International headlines would declare an act of war, pushing the world's superpowers into navigating a dangerous new reality. In this limited engagement, smaller allies of both nations, such as Japan for the US and Russia for China, might mobilize their forces, leading to increased militarization in contested areas. This escalation could trigger a dangerous arms race, with nations racing to build more advanced submarines, anti-submarine systems, and hypersonic weapons. Now, let's consider a more dire possibility. If forced into self-defense, the U.S. Navy might launch torpedoes, sinking the submarine. In response, China could deploy its naval assets into the region, targeting American forces in a show of strength. A naval battle could ensue, involving submarines, destroyers, aircraft, and potentially carrier strike groups from both sides. The conflict might spread rapidly, with other flashpoints such as the Taiwan Strait or the East China Sea erupting simultaneously. Cyber warfare would undoubtedly play a significant role. Both nations could target each other's command and control systems. Imagine an aircraft carrier losing its advanced radar capabilities due to a sophisticated cyber attack, leaving it vulnerable to missile strikes. The consequences of such a conflict would be catastrophic. Global trade routes through the South China Sea would be disrupted, leading to economic turmoil. Markets would crash, supply chains would disintegrate, and nations far removed from the conflict would feel the ripple effects. And then there's the unthinkable scenario. What if this naval conflict escalated to involve nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines? These boomers, lurking undetected in the depths, hold the power to launch nuclear strikes. While neither the US nor China would likely want to cross that line, the fog of war often blurs intentions, increasing the risk of catastrophic miscalculation. Not all escalations, however, lead to direct confrontation. A third possibility involves proxy wars, where both nations leverage smaller allied countries to fight on their behalf. Nations like Vietnam, the Philippines, or Indonesia could be drawn into these conflicts, supplied with weapons and resources by their respective patrons. China might escalate its gray zone tactics, deploying fishing fleets, maritime militias, and covert operatives to harass U.S. allies and assets. Meanwhile, the U.S. would ramp up its freedom of navigation operations, further pushing tensions to the brink. In any scenario, the potential for escalation highlights the fragile balance of power and the dire consequences of missteps in modern naval warfare. The boundaries of China's claims continue to spark tensions, and unmanned technology is set to play a critical role. Both nations have heavily invested in drones, including underwater drones capable of reconnaissance and delivering explosives. In future scenarios, swarms of autonomous underwater vehicles could patrol contested waters, engaging in silent, high-tech battles beneath the waves. Now, let's focus on the human element. In these tense scenarios, people remain at the forefront. On board the USS Gerald R. Ford, every sailor is acutely aware of the stakes. Life aboard a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier balances routine and readiness, but moments of crisis like these bring their training and dedication into sharp focus. At the heart of the ship lies the Sonar Operations Center, a dark, cavernous room illuminated by the glow of screens. Here, technicians use sophisticated software to detect underwater threats. Each sonar ping and faint acoustic signature is scrutinized with precision. During a recent encounter with a Chinese submarine, these technicians played a vital role. They identified the acoustic profile of the Type 993B submarine and tracked its movements in real time. The pressure on them was immense. A single mistake could mean disaster. Above deck, the flight deck buzzed with activity. MH-60R Seahawk helicopters, equipped with dipping sonar and sonobuoys, launched to assist in tracking the submarine. Flight deck crews, often referred to as Rainbow Warriors due to their color-coded uniforms, work in one of the most dangerous environments in the military. They guide aircraft, refuel jets, and ensure the deck is clear for takeoff and landing, all while dealing with the roar of engines and the ocean's unpredictable conditions. At the center of it all is the ship's captain and their team in the Combat Information Center, CIC. Here, decisions are made that could alter the course of history. During the submarine encounter, the CIC became a hive of activity, with officers analyzing intelligence, communicating with allied ships, and preparing for every possible outcome. The weight of these decisions is enormous, knowing that a wrong call could escalate a tense situation into a full-blown conflict. Amid the intensity of their duties, sailors aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford find ways to maintain morale. They gather in the mess hall for meals, share stories during downtime, and lean on one another for support. In moments of crisis, this camaraderie becomes a source of strength, reminding them that they're not just fighting for their nation, but also for their shipmates beside them. The U.S. Navy invests heavily in training personnel for exactly these kinds of scenarios. Exercises like RIMPAC, Rim of the Pacific, and joint drills with allied navies ensure that sailors are prepared for every contingency. Simulations of submarine encounters are a routine part of this training. Crews practice detecting, tracking, and engaging underwater threats using both live drills and advanced virtual reality systems. This rigorous preparation paid off during the recent submarine encounter. The seamless coordination between sonar technicians, flight crews, and command staff was a testament to the Navy's emphasis on readiness. As tensions in the South China Sea continue to rise, the role of aircraft carriers like the USS Gerald R. Ford is evolving. No longer just platforms for air power, these vessels are becoming hubs for multi-domain operations, integrating naval, air, cyber, and space capabilities. Future upgrades to carriers may include more autonomous systems, enhanced electronic warfare capabilities, and advanced directed energy weapons like lasers. These technologies will further enhance their ability to defend against threats both above and below the waves. However, these advancements come with challenges. The increasing complexity of carrier operations requires even more skilled personnel and robust maintenance procedures. As adversaries develop anti-ship missiles and other carrier-killing technologies, the U.S. Navy must adapt to ensure these vessels remain viable in contested environments. Ultimately, incidents like the interception of the Chinese spy submarine are about more than just naval tactics. They are a test of resolve. They showcase the United States' commitment to maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific and its willingness to stand up to aggression. For the sailors aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford, this mission is deeply personal. They're not just protecting their ship or their country, they're safeguarding the principles of freedom and international law. And while the risks are great, so too is their determination. Every sonar ping, every aircraft launch, and every decision made in the Combat Information Center reflects their unwavering commitment to their mission in the high-stakes world of modern naval operations. The dynamics of modern naval warfare underscore the critical role of human skill, courage, and resolve. The recent South China Sea incident highlights the larger geopolitical struggle that extends beyond submarines and aircraft carriers. This struggle encompasses trade wars, cyber attacks, and diplomatic maneuvering as the United States and China compete for influence both in the Pacific and globally. Meanwhile, nations like Japan, Australia, and India are bolstering their naval presence, creating a complex web of alliances and rivalries. The evolution of this balance of power will shape global security in the coming decades. A pressing question looms: could incidents like the submarine interception lead to open conflict? Experts argue that the key lies in how effectively both nations manage such encounters. While neither the US nor China seeks war, the potential for miscalculation remains high. A single misstep, whether a collision, a misfired torpedo, or an accidental escalation, could ignite a chain reaction with devastating consequences. Looking ahead, the future of naval conflicts may rely heavily on artificial intelligence, AI, and automation. Imagine autonomous submarines patrolling contested waters, silently engaging in battles beneath the waves without direct human intervention. Could such technologies reduce the risk of war, or might they increase it? The integration of AI into naval operations is set to revolutionize maritime conflict. While AI enhances efficiency, decision-making, and reduces human casualties, it also introduces new risks. AI systems might misinterpret actions, escalate conflicts unintentionally, or malfunction, leading to catastrophic outcomes. Autonomous underwater vehicles, UUVs, equipped with sensors and algorithms, could operate independently, gathering intelligence and executing missions with precision. However, these benefits come with significant risks. Autonomous systems could misinterpret actions as hostile, launching attacks based on flawed algorithms. In volatile regions like the South China Sea, such errors could rapidly escalate into full-scale conflict. Another critical application of AI is in decision-making support systems. Naval operations produce vast amounts of data, sonar readings, satellite imagery, and communication intercepts. AI can analyze this data faster and more accurately than humans, providing commanders with real-time insights. For example, during a submarine encounter, AI can assess acoustic signatures to identify the vessel, evaluate its capabilities, and predict its intentions. Autonomous escalation, a phenomenon where AI systems interact unpredictably, poses another risk. Picture a Chinese AI submarine detecting a U.S. vessel conducting routine operations. Misinterpreting movements as hostile, it approaches to gather intelligence. The U.S. vessel's AI, perceiving this approach as aggressive, deploys countermeasures. The Chinese submarine responds defensively. Within minutes, a benign encounter could spiral into a standoff, pulling additional forces into the region. Cyber warfare further complicates matters. Autonomous systems are prime targets for hacking. An adversary could seize control of a submarine, redirecting it to attack friendly forces or civilian vessels. Even spoofing attacks, where false data misleads AI systems, could create chaos and provoke responses. This AI arms race is accelerating competition between the US and China. Both nations are racing to develop advanced algorithms, processors, and autonomous systems. While innovation drives progress, it also raises the risk of miscalculation, especially if systems are deployed without thorough testing. Despite these risks, AI has the potential to stabilize naval operations. By improving surveillance, communication, and decision-making, AI could prevent misunderstandings and de-escalate tensions. Ethical and strategic considerations remain pressing. Should machines have the authority to make life-and-death decisions? Who bears responsibility for AI-driven errors? The operator, the manufacturer, or the government? International agreements may be required to regulate AI deployment, much like treaties governing nuclear weapons. As technology evolves, AI will shape the future of naval warfare, from autonomous submarines to AI-driven command systems. While these advancements offer unparalleled capabilities, they also introduce risks that could destabilize an already tense geopolitical landscape. The key lies in balancing AI's strengths with safeguards against its weaknesses. Humans, too, are capable of catastrophic errors. The interception of the Chinese submarine by a U.S. aircraft carrier highlights the tensions lurking beneath the surface of our oceans. As technology advances and rivalries intensify, such encounters may become more frequent and potentially more dangerous. For now, the U.S. Navy remains vigilant, with around 300 ships in its fleet and approximately 100 deployed globally at any given time. The ultimate challenge is navigating this era of great power competition without plunging into conflict. To explore more about modern naval power, from stealth submarines to the future of carrier warfare, click the next video. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and continue uncovering the extraordinary world of our Navy. Thank you for watching Navy Media Channel.